There is a quiet kind of person who moves through life with graceful steps and reflective eyes, not distant in a cold way, but in a way that feels intentional. They aren't uninterested, they are attuned. The world around them is busy, full of noise and performance, so they move differently. They listen deeply. They speak only when there's something real to say. Their quiet isn't emptiness. It is fullness, the kind that breathes softly and thinks deeply. Carl Jung called this journey individuation, the slow unfolding of the authentic self, free from the expectations and emotional weight of others. For the deeply intelligent, this path often begins in solitude, not the kind we fear, but the kind they cherish. Solitude becomes sanctuary where insight forms, creativity stirs, and the soul finds room to breathe. Most people avoid being alone. Thoughtful people enter it willingly, because they understand something most don't, that true growth rarely happens in noise. It happens in the silence between. They have learned to navigate emotional energy with care. Every interaction becomes a conscious decision. They engage when it nourishes, withdraw when it depletes. This isn't indifference, it's emotional wisdom. It is how they stay grounded in a world that pulls in every direction. Where many see loneliness, the reflective mind sees clarity. In the gentle hush of being alone, they reconnect with what matters, their thoughts, their values, their truth. It is a quiet recalibration that allows their inner compass to realign. They begin to see things others miss, subtle emotional shifts, patterns in behavior, motivations hidden behind smiles. What looks like affection may be fear. What sounds like confidence might mask uncertainty. They don't just hear words, they feel the layers beneath. And while this awareness is powerful, it is also isolating. They begin to feel like observers in a world of performance. And so they make a choice. Continue performing to be accepted, or step back and embrace authenticity. It is not an easy path. It comes with fewer but deeper connections. It requires learning how to say no gently, how to hold space for themselves without guilt. But eventually, it becomes a necessity. This detachment becomes protection, not just for their energy but for their essence. It guards the parts of them that feel too much, think too long, care too deeply. The thoughtful soul knows its own limits and honors them. Solitude in this light becomes generative. Jung called it the treasure in the depths, not absence but presence. A space where the mind finally flows without interruption, where imagination wanders and insight blooms. Here, they are free to think without translating, to reflect without adjusting, to simply be. They cultivate an inner landscape, rich, textured, and alive. It is a place where creativity isn't forced but gently invited, where memories are explored, not suppressed, where possibility is imagined in quiet stillness. This inner sanctuary becomes their compass, guiding how they love, create, and exist in the world. And when they choose to connect, it comes from wholeness, not from a need to escape themselves, but from a desire to share what they have discovered within. For them, intimacy is not built on constant presence. It is built on mutual understanding. Their relationships are few but meaningful. They value depth over display. Each emotional investment passes through a gentle check. Does this nourish my spirit or deplete it? Does this interaction grow me, or simply repeat what I already know? To outsiders, their rhythm may seem slow. Their pauses might be misunderstood, but within, everything is deliberate. They don't rush connection. They wait for resonance. Thoughtful minds see the emotional economy behind relationships. They understand that energy is finite and that peace requires boundaries. They don't avoid love, they simply choose it with care. Because for them, love is sacred, and it deserves clarity. Jung also spoke of integration, of welcoming both shadow and light. For the intelligent soul, detachment becomes the thread that weaves this balance together. It isn't a wall. It's a doorway allowing what's true in and gently keeping what's not at bay. This kind of person walks slowly through life, not because they fear falling behind, but because they want to notice what others miss. Their silence holds weight. Their solitude is fertile ground, and their presence, when offered, is rich with meaning. If you are one of these souls, trust your rhythm. You don't need to be louder to be heard. You don't need to be busier to be valued. You simply need space for thought, for stillness, for the kind of connection that reflects, not reshapes you. And if you are trying to understand someone like this, remember, their detachment isn't personal. It is structural. It is how they stay whole in a world that often asks too much. Beneath it lies tenderness, curiosity, and a deep desire to understand, not just others, but life itself. Let it unfold. Let your mind breathe. Let your heart stretch. Let solitude be your garden, soft with truth, rich with clarity, gentle in its becoming. Because in these quiet layers, you will find something steady and beautifully yours.